Welcome to Business Insight Fredericton. I'm Krista Ross, CEO of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce. In this new program with Rogers TV, we'll be profiling businesses in the Fredericton region. We'll talk to small, medium, and large enterprises about their challenges and opportunities. Our first show explores newcomer businesses, and first up is Rotacana Coffee. Over a cup of his special blend, we'll talk to Mohammed Karala about his story. I know coffee is a very traditional business.
Yes.
But you've done some innovative things. Tell me about this equipment that's innovative.
Yeah, actually this roaster is the state-of-the-art machine in the world right now. We are the only one who has it on the Maritime and Atlantic Canada. It's completely different from other roasters, so the technology itself is different.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started in this business.
Actually, coffee business is my family business, like for 60 years ago. So when I moved to Fredericton and Canada, I thought it might be a good idea because I believe all North Americans are in love with coffee. So there is a huge potential for coffee business in North America and mainly in Canada.
And I love your coffee. It's delicious, by the way.
Thank you.
So tell me a bit about the challenges that you face in this business or in this industry.
Actually, the challenges in the industry itself is like there is many competitors because coffee business is like a tradition business. So it has been there for hundreds of years. So there is a lot of competition, and also there is nothing new in the industry. So you have to work hard to find your value proposition for your business.
So I've never seen unroasted coffee before. It's like a light green. And
Yeah.
where are these beans from?
Actually, these beans come from Colombia, and this is one of the types we are using here. And we have like from different places, like we have from Brazil, from India, from Indonesia, and also Ethiopian beans. In coffee business, you have different choices to roast and sell the coffee as a single origin, because some people want like to change the type of bean. Some people like to try the Ethiopian coffee, after sometimes try the Colombian because it's completely different taste and aroma, and then switch to Brazilian like this. And also from these single origins, we build our signature blends.
So you really have secret recipes for your signature blends.
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't know about that.
This is what differentiates a business from another, your signature blends, and that's why we call it signature, because it's yours.
So you mentioned that you moved to Canada and you moved to Fredericton.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about where you're from, and did you encounter any barriers to starting a business here in New Brunswick and in Fredericton?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I moved from Dubai. Originally, I am from Egypt, but I have been working in Dubai for almost like 15 years. So one of the barriers or challenges I faced when I moved to Fredericton or to Canada is like the people, the Canadian, to trust and to ensure your credibility of what you are doing. People need to trust you because they don't know you before, they don't know much about your culture. So the most important thing is to gain their trust and show them that your capabilities of what you are willing to do.
So how did you work on building that trust? What were some of the steps that you took to grow your network and gain credibility?
Actually, the first thing is to introduce yourself to the community. Like
Yes.
you have to be out and about, you have to be in all like events, social events, and like all other events done by the stakeholders in the city, and to be eager to introduce yourself. And actually the community helps you a lot. Like they break the ice, they will approach you and take the initiative to start the conversation with you.
So when we have a business or when we're involved in the business world, sometimes people like to give us advice. Some of it is not helpful and some of
Yeah.
it is very helpful. So what would you say is the most helpful piece of advice that you received when you started your business here in Fredericton?
Yeah, for me and for many people who moved from a different part of the world, the most like important advice when you move to Canada, to hire the best lawyer and the best accountant.
So I want to know a little bit more about your actual business. How many types of coffee do you produce? How much coffee are you producing?
Yeah.
Who's buying it? How did you find clients? Are you doing wholesale? Are you doing retail? I want to know all about it.
Actually, now we are doing 16 different type of coffees.
16,
Yes,
wow.
16 different blends. running under 4 main categories, which is single origin, signature blend, Turkish coffee, and Arabian coffee. So this is the main 4 categories we are doing it. And now we are selling to 22 business to business, like wholesale clients in New Brunswick and in Canada, all over like in Montreal and Toronto, and also we start export to US. So this is very much interesting because actually our value proposition or what we are unique in, we are the only manufacturers of Turkish coffee in whole Canada.
So when you came to Canada and when you came to Fredericton, there were some other organizations or some organizations that helped you and gave you advice. Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, this is like one of the questions I love to answer because with the help I got, I actually like jumped for what I was planning to do in 5 years. We already done it in 2 years.
Wow.
So really, that was great and awesome. Above the all, it was the Chamber of Commerce because what I did right from the beginning, I was early member of the Chamber of Commerce as soon as I started my business, and I took it from there in their events like business over breakfast, business after hours. So they opened the door for me to build my network.
So what is it about Fredericton? I mean, you've talked about the Chamber of Commerce and Planet Hatch and Ignite and organizations like that.
Yeah.
But what is it about Fredericton in general that you have found to be helpful to getting your business off the ground?
The Frederictorians.
Yeah.
Actually, I am in love with the Frederictorians because really they are very helpful, very supportive, and they always like meet you with a smile in their face, which is very rare in any other part of the world. So this makes you feel from the first moment that I want to stay for the rest of my life here, which is a very important decision for any businessman, because if you are planning to move or if you are not sure about your future plans, you will keep yourself like in between. But the good thing, like from the first moment I decide this is going to be my city.
So one of the things that you've told me about is that you started an association here, the New Brunswick Business Immigrant Association. Tell me about that and why you think it's important.
Actually, like when we start like facing some challenges and barriers to set up our business here, and my colleague as well, we come together with the idea like we love this community, we love this city, and we love the province, and we need like to start be a part of the community and part of what's going on, and help also the people who are coming and willing to do business in New Brunswick. So we have this initiative idea like to start this business association to share our stories and to help newcomers and show them the right stakeholders to join and to give them some advices like just like to break just the ice between them and the Canadians themselves, because like we step in their shoes, we are also newcomers, we are like new to the city and new to the country, but we made it, so you can also make it, so you have to just be eager to take the steps, and we will show you the way.
So tell me a little bit about what is coming next in your business. What are the goals that you have next?
We have like 2 next steps. First one is to increase our packaging capabilities with like K-Cups machines and different type of packaging machine. And the next step is like to start our first Roticana Cafe. And sure, will be in Fredericton, and then we'll take it from there.
We return to Business Insight Fredericton. In the second part of our show today, we're with By the River Bed and Breakfast. This new retreat is owned by Coral Schwei and her husband, Hal Hua. As Coral shows us around the bed and breakfast, she's going to tell us about their journey to success.
This is our Blessed Common Suite. We said it's a honeymoon suite. We like the couples to have this room.
So you bought the building in 2017. When did you open your doors for By the River B&B?
We bought it in 2017, so almost 2 years later in 2019, this year, in May, we opened it as a B&B.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it took almost 2 years to do the renovation. Here's the sunroom. That's why we call this room Wollaston River View, because we really have the real river view here.
So what have you found the challenges to be in this industry and in this business?
In fact, because we basically don't have any experience in this kind of hospitality industry back in China. So that definitely a challenge because you need to know a new industry. But as an immigrant here, to open a new business, of course, there's a lot of unique challenges. How? Can I have a plate? The language and the cultural background. Over easy. It really takes some time to get to know what the market you are facing and what the customers you are dealing with. Of course, people always talk about the network, but I would say, like, of course, there's no network ready for us. We need to build one from scratch. But for any business, even your local people, if you want to open a business, still network will be a challenge to you too. There's also kind of advantage, immigrant advantage for us. Like there's kind of a very unique support system for immigrant entrepreneurs, like a chamber. I would say challenge and advantage.
So now you've been underway for a number of months. What goals have you set for your business? What are you hoping for the future?
Oh, my husband and I, we did talk that, like last year we said, oh, we'll set a goal. We need to meet that.
Yes.
So we said our occupancy yearly, the goal is 50%, because the average number is 50%. We said we need to be the average.
I just like to stay in this house and feeling this house some history, and then I like share with others people. So it's perfect for the Fredericton the breakfast.
Tell me about all of your rooms. Do they all have special features?
Yeah. Each room has its own unique things.
So what is your goal for 2020? Will you make it a higher percentage?
Yeah, definitely. And but except the room, we are more thinking about other ad service. Like now we are exploring the food things. Like we offer afternoon tea or authentic Chinese food for our guests.
So when you start a business, you can't do it all alone. What organizations have been helpful to you to get your business going?
The Planet Hatch, we are a member of Hive for several years. And then I attend the NBCC. There's another program like Oasis. Through that program, I got a fantastic mentor. Her name is Helen Jane. She used to work for the tourist department. Wow. So that's perfect for me. I'll say, for me, I think in this city, there's really a lot programs trying to help people to do business, especially the immigrants. And all the program almost free. So if you really want to do this, just try every program. You definitely will find some very useful information.
So sometimes we get advice from people when we're doing something entrepreneurial, and some of the advice is not so good and some of the advice is awesome. So I'm interested to know, what's the best piece of advice that you received?
Don't take it personally. Everything, don't take it personally. It's not because you. I didn't understand that. I came home, think about it. After several days, yes, it's not about me. These things happen, it's not because me or not because I'm a newcomer or something. It happens because I would say to running a small business anywhere in the whole world, it will be a very, very difficult challenge for anyone.
So one of the things that I wonder if advice you might share for other people that are starting a business, do you think it's important to have a team around you of, lawyers or accountants or bankers? Tell me about that.
I think that's important, but it's not easy. For any business, you need lawyer first thing. Then you need accountant, definitely, to figure out the tax, the financial things. Then you definitely need your banker, because you need to go out for some resources.
So if you had another newcomer entrepreneur that you met, what advice would you give them? What's the most important advice you think you could share with them?
I cannot say it will be good advice, but from my experience, I would say the first thing should be really stay open-minded. Another thing is I would say don't be shy. Just go out, take advantage of all those programs.
Welcome back to Business Insight Fredericton. I'm Krista Ross, your host. In the final part of the show, we're at Anessa. This software firm helps industry worldwide convert waste into energy. Anessa started as the brainchild of some UNB international engineering students, but has blossomed into a startup success story that has grown exponentially.
Anessa is a software company. We are offering a simulating software for engineers in the biogas industry. What that means, they can do all the simulation, assessment, financial and technical for entire process of converting all the organic waste to energy. So that's what we are doing here.
So you put waste into a container of some kind, put it through some processes, and then you can extract energy from that. It can be turned into electricity, it can be put into fuels and vehicles. So it's really an exciting area of trying to reduce the carbon footprint by making renewable energy.
Manure, which is organic, goes into the pre-processing system, and then when it's ready, it will get directed to the digester, so we'll starve the organics from oxygen, so they will start degrading. The biogas will leave the digester and goes to the plant conditioning and either gets converted to renewable natural gas or run through the CHP units to get converted to electricity.
Would this be considered an innovative new technology or new software?
Yes, it is. So there is no software available in the market like this that covers everything in one single platform. The existing solution are either focusing on the financial part or the biological part, where we are offering everything in one single platform.
And is this a business that got started from the research and the education that you did at the university, or was it something that happened after you finished?
Actually, it happened in between. So I was doing my master, as I said, and because of my background in energy field, a former colleague reached out to me saying that we have this project that we wanted to convert the energy to waste to energy. So can you help us with it? And I knew Farouk was my best friend there, and he was doing all PhD at UNB doing waste to energy processes. So I reached out to him to see how we can help with that.
So we started working on the project together, and 5 months later, we decided to, okay, this is a pain, what we're seeing here. Let's convert it to an opportunity.
So, Amir, your company is an award-winning company. Tell me a little bit about some of the awards that you've won.
We won a number of awards. The latest one was the BioMB's Innovation Award for the bioindustries companies in the region. Before that, we won the MBIF Breakthrough Award. It was a competition for the innovation ideas and business competition, business plan competition. So we won that.
So, what would you say are the challenges in this business or in this industry?
So the biggest challenge for us here in North America is this industry is very new in the North America, so it's an emerging market, whereas in the other market where we are targeting Europe, it's a very mature market.
The 30 years old, established tools, and I think just trying to bring innovation to that market And secondly is the emerging markets in the world. The United States is the obvious one, a little bit in Canada, and some of the South America and Central America both looking at biogas. So the world's an oyster.
So you're the CEO of the company. Are there other people involved in the leadership of the company?
Yes, there we have, as I mentioned, 12 employees, but as a co-founder, we have 4 co-founders, and we have other team members as a team leader of the team.
Since 2016 now, I've been involved with the company as a co-founder and overseeing product development and now doing funding and investment. One of the big things about a startup is that you're constantly looking for money and assistance to help you with your activities, whether it's product development, going to business meetings and having the money and the finances to be able to get there to achieve those goals. So my role with the company is in helping with putting together applications for things like CAN export, through ACOA, NRC IRAP, different funding programs, as well as talking to investors and telling them about our dream and our vision of what Anessa is going to be. So as time goes by, some of the challenges we were having on day one are not the challenges that we're having today.
I wonder if you can talk to me a little bit about challenges that you might have faced as a newcomer starting a business.
Sure, as you said, it doesn't matter where you are starting. Starting a business is a challenging step, and but as a newcomer, as an immigrant starting, it's understanding the culture here. If you are starting a business in that location, understanding the rules and making sure that you have the networks that you can have access to it.
So Amir, when you talk about building your network, part of that is probably being involved in some associations or activities or organizations. What organizations have you found have been helpful to get that business launched?
There's a big list of the organization here. That's one of the big benefits of starting a business here in New Brunswick. So Chambers was been one of the biggest one. Opportunity New Brunswick, Ignite Fredericton, ACOA, UMBs, different accelerator that part running in the New Brunswick, that they were very helpful for us.
Do you think it's important when you're starting a business to have some of those professional people on your teams, people like lawyers or accountants or bankers or all those types of professionals? Has that been something you've found to be important?
Yes, it is important. I don't know about being a part of the team, but at least have access to that services. In the early days, it's important to understand the rules and regulations around that. So as a newcomer, you don't know a lot about the business culture, business rules, and they can help you on the day one, and you are not doing big mistakes that you cannot recover from.
I'm wondering if you could give us some advice for other newcomers who might be coming here or might be considering coming here. What advice would you give them about starting a business in Fredericton or in New Brunswick or in Canada?
Sure. As I mentioned, this is a great place to start a business because of this great number of supports that you have access. And the biggest advice, I would say, that build your network as soon as you can.
Anessa is very fortunate to have both that international experience and domestic experience that you bring to the table.
The international and the domestic experience and the variety of people on our team really contributes to the diversity that we have here.
I notice you have a Canadian maple leaf flag on
I
your
do.
lapel.
I do.
So tell me, when did you become a Canadian citizen?
2018, I became a Canadian citizen, and I'm very grateful for that.
What's next? What are your goals?
I started in my basement, but now we are in this office space. And but our big goal, our big target goal for the entire company is to be a leader in this industry.
I'd like to be able to say in a year from now that we'll have twice as many employees and our company be probably 4 times bigger, but I wouldn't be surprised either if we're 5 or 6 times bigger.
Thanks for watching Business Insight Fredericton. I'm your host, Krista Ross, CEO of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce. We're always looking for great companies with a unique story to feature on the show. If you have suggestions, please get in touch with us.